distinguished ambassadors to the African Union, distinguished guests from all sectors of the society, Excellencies, the Cabinet of Sudan, ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pleasure that I warmly welcome you to Sudan. Your presence here today is a powerful message reflecting the enduring bonds between Sudan and the African Union, and of our shared conviction that Africa's future is best secured, is best guaranteed, is best serviced, is best respected through solidarity, partnership, cooperation, collaboration, mutual respect, and most importantly, African-led solutions. Please underline this important key sentence: African-led solutions. Sudan has always been and will continue to be deeply committed to the African integration project. Sudan was a key founder of the Organization of African Unity, a key member of the Organization of African Unity and its successor, the African Union. Not only that, Sudan was a host of many African liberation movements, including Nelson Mandela himself, the key iconic African figure. We know during your short visit to Sudan, you have witnessed yourself, and through this film, which has just been exposed to you, the immense escalation of destruction, the immense destruction of the infrastructure within every neighborhood or institution lies the destruction of families, the displacement of millions, and the loss of livelihoods. Today, Sudan's primary objective and priority is to restore peace and safeguard the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of this country, the territorial integrity of our people and our nation. With this objective in mind, we presented before the United Nations Security Council last year Sudan's peace plan. What it is, what it does. Sudan peace plan is a comprehensive, coherent framework to establish peace in this great country, Sudan. It calls for the protection of civilians as a matter of priority, and the unhindered humanitarian access. These are our people. We do not need to be taught lessons from outside. These are our people, and we have to protect our people. We are committed to protect our people. In addition, the Sudan's peace initiative calls for the immediate withdrawal of the militias and the mercenaries from all occupied areas and zones as enshrined in the Jeddah Declaration of 21 May 2023. The assembly of the militias in agreed upon camps and the commencement immediately of the so-called DDR procedures. These are the general features of this Sudanese-owned initiative. This initiative, you may well know, has been supported by the Secretary General of the United Nations, by the President of the African Union, by the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, by the Organization of Islamic Conference, by the Muslim League Organization, by the majority of the specialized agencies of the United Nations system of organizations, and last but not least, by the Vatican, led by the Pope of the Vatican himself. Where is Africa? Where are you from this initiative? We know, thank you. We know that the President of the African Union endorsed the initiative. But where are you, excellencies? Are you coming here to negotiate with us whether Sudan's membership should be restored or not? We are expecting you to come here to agree with us that the so-called rapid support forces should be classified as a terrorist organization. Therefore, today we welcome this important visit, and we thank you most sincerely for the cooperation and the collaboration. But where is the Commissioner of the African Union? What is his name, by the way? What is his name? Bankoli. Where is our brother Bankoli, the Commissioner? This is an important forum directly under his jurisdiction. We were expecting him to come here and share with us his views. This is not a matter of personal mood. This is a matter of professional item of life or death for the Sudanese people. Let me, excellencies, share with you two no's, two red lines that must not be crossed. The first red line, please don't equate the so-called RSF with the Sudanese armed forces. The age of the Sudanese armed forces is almost 1 century. The age of the Sudanese armed forces is almost 1 century. How do you want to equate RSF with the Sudanese armed forces? And what is RSF? The so-called Rapid Support Forces was established under the Sudanese law, and with the failed coup d'etat attempt, RSF was dissolved. RSF does not exist anymore. they transformed themselves into illegal militias and mercenaries, causing the impressive destruction you have just witnessed yourself. The other red line, which I would like to share with you with all transparency, don't decide the destiny of the Sudanese people in absentia. You can't do that. The Sudanese people are capable to decide their destiny themselves. Therefore, let me warn you that all these activities, all these seminars, all these occasions held in Europe, in Africa, and elsewhere without the participation of the Sudanese government are of no concern to us. And to be even more candid, these are colonial and racist activities. And we thought that when the Organization of African Unity was established and succeeded by the African Union, we are all fighting against racism and colonialism. But to decide on behalf of the Sudanese people in absentia, this is a red line which cannot be crossed. The Sudanese army is advancing in all areas. Greater Kordofan, and soon Greater Darfur. So the army is ahead of the events and is advancing in a very successful operations, as you read and see in the media yourself. You have seen Khartoum? Millions of Sudanese people are returning to their beloved country. But we still need your support. What happened in Sudan could happen in any African country. This is not exceptional. This is not a war that has been initiated inside country. This war has been imposed upon the Sudanese people. And what happened in Sudan could easily be transferred to the Horn of Africa and the entire African continent. So be aware that this is not an exceptional situation that concerns alone. This is a situation that threatens the peace and security of the African continent and the entire peace and security of the whole world. Therefore, Excellencies, we look to Africa, we look to this beloved continent as our natural continental home. This is our natural continental home. Of course, we have the ideas, we have the economy. This is a country which is potentially rich. We need to establish with you productive partnerships in agriculture, in animal resources, in minerals. But we need your understanding. You need your cooperation. Yes, Sudan needs to go back to its original continents and to the original constituency. But let me tell you and assure you with all confidence that the entire African continent in return needs Sudan as well. Needs Sudan, the historic country, needs Sudan, the land of ancient civilization. Thank you very much indeed for your attention.